What if your biggest enemy in trading isn't the market, your strategy, or even the news? What if it's you? Welcome to The Disciplined Trader by Mark Douglas, a book that doesn't just teach you how to trade, it teaches you how to think like a trader. In this video, we're diving deep into the world of trading psychology, where success isn't about finding the perfect setup, but mastering your mind. If you've ever felt fear when pulling the trigger, chased trades out of frustration, or sabotaged your own progress after a win, you're not alone. This video will help you unlock the mental tools that separate the 5% who thrive from the 95% who burn out. So, grab a notebook, hit that like button, and let's begin your journey to becoming a truly disciplined trader. Because in the end, it's not the market that decides your fate, it's your mindset. The illusion of strategy, why discipline is your real edge. In the world of trading, most people start with the same question: what's the best strategy? They chase the holy grail, the perfect setup, the perfect combination of indicators, the one system that never fails. But here's the hard truth that few are willing to accept. You don't fail because of your strategy. You fail because you can't follow it. And that right there is the difference between an amateur trader and a disciplined one. In The Disciplined Trader, Mark Douglas flips the script on everything we think we know about trading. He says, the consistent winners think differently from everyone else. So what's the difference? It's not about technical knowledge, a supercomputer, or insider information. It's about discipline. Imagine two traders. Both have the exact same strategy, same entry rules, same risk management, same stop-loss, take-profit parameters. Trader A follows the plan to the letter, win or lose. Trader B deviates every time emotions creep in, exits too early, adds to losing trades, or hesitates when it's time to execute. Who's going to come out ahead after 100 trades? It's obvious, Trader A. But why is it so hard to be like Trader A? Because when real money is on the line, your emotions take over. Fear, greed, impatience, doubt. These aren't abstract psychological terms. They're the invisible forces pulling your fingers toward the mouse when you know you should wait. They're what make you exit early because you don't want to lose what you've got, or hold a losing trade because maybe it'll come back. Mark Douglas explains that discipline is what keeps you grounded when your mind tries to protect you from emotional pain. The human brain is hardwired to avoid discomfort. Losses feel painful. Missing out feels like regret. Sitting still while others are making money feels like failure. So your mind reacts. But here's the twist. The market doesn't care how you feel. It doesn't reward your effort, nor does it console you after a losing streak. The only thing the market rewards is consistency, and consistency is the direct product of discipline. That's why Douglas writes, the best traders are not afraid to follow rules, even when everything in their body tells them to do the opposite. Let's be honest, anyone can learn to read charts, and anyone can memorize candlestick patterns, but very few can take loss after loss and still execute their plan exactly as written. That's discipline, and it's what separates real traders from emotional gamblers. Think of a fighter pilot or a surgeon in life or death situations. They don't act on feeling, they act on training. They follow a checklist, a process. Why? Because they know that discipline saves lives. In trading, it's not life or death, but your capital is always at risk. Without discipline, you're not trading, you're reacting. You're giving your power to the market. But with discipline, the power shifts back to you. You're not just hoping anymore. You're managing risk. You're controlling what you can control, your behavior. And that's the most important lesson from this chapter of The Disciplined Trader. It's not about avoiding losses. It's about following your rules regardless of how you feel. Because trading success isn't built on any one trade. It's built on thousands of small decisions made with consistency over time. And consistency is impossible without discipline. The power of beliefs, rewiring your trading brain. What if I told you that the biggest reason you struggle in trading has nothing to do with your strategy, your broker, or the market itself? It comes down to one invisible force, your beliefs. In The Disciplined Trader, Mark Douglas explains that every decision you make, from pressing buy to exiting too early or holding too long, is shaped by what you believe about the market, about money, and most importantly, about yourself. Let's take a step back. Beliefs are mental frameworks. They act like filters. They shape how you perceive risk, how how you interpret losses, and how you define success. But here's the catch. Most of your beliefs are unconscious. You're not fully aware they're running the show. For example, if you believe losing is bad, you'll avoid taking trades, even good setups, because you're afraid of the pain. If you believe I must win to prove I'm good enough, you'll double down on losers just to avoid being wrong. These aren't trading decisions. These are emotional reactions driven by deep-seated beliefs, beliefs you may not even know you have. And here's where it gets dangerous. When those beliefs conflict with the nature of the market, you become your own worst enemy. The market doesn't reward you for trying hard. It doesn't guarantee outcomes. It doesn't care if you feel smart, validated, or in control. If your beliefs are built on control, certainty, and emotional safety, you will struggle. Because the market, by its very nature, is uncertain. And to thrive in that uncertainty, you must align your beliefs with how the market actually works, not how you wish it worked. Mark Douglas says, traders who expect the market to behave according to their beliefs are setting themselves up for pain. So how do we shift this? First, become aware of the beliefs driving your trading. Ask yourself, do I believe that losing means I've failed? Do I believe I have to be right to be successful? Do I believe the market owes me something? If the answer is yes, you've found the first step, awareness. Now, here's the key. Beliefs aren't facts. They feel like truths, but they're really just interpretations of past experience, and they can be changed. You can replace I need to win to feel worthy with I'm a professional, my edge plays out over time. Risk is dangerous with risk is neutral. It's just part of the process. These new beliefs don't just sound better, they create emotional freedom. They allow you to take trades without fear, to cut losses without hesitation, and to stop trying to predict and start reacting with clarity. Let's take an example. Say you grew up in a household where money was scarce. You may have developed a belief that losing money is unacceptable. Now, when you lose a trade, it doesn't just feel like a financial loss, it feels like personal failure. That belief creates tension, so you avoid losses at all costs, which ironically leads to more losses because now you hold losers, overtrade, or skip valid setups out of fear. But when you shift your belief to losses are data, they teach me, they're part of my edge, everything changes. You stop panicking, you stop taking things personally, and you start thinking like a real trader. Douglas writes, beliefs about ourselves are the most powerful and the most dangerous. So let's talk self-image. If you see yourself as someone who's undisciplined, emotional, or unlucky, guess what? You will trade in a way that proves that belief right. This is called confirmation bias. Your actions will subconsciously align with your self-concept. That's why it's critical to craft a new identity as a trader, not based on your past, but based on who you're becoming. You must start to believe, I am a disciplined trader. I can manage my emotions. I learn from every experience, win or lose. This isn't fake it till you make it. It's act it until it becomes real. And the more often you act from that new belief, the more that belief takes root. Think of your beliefs like code. If the program is full of errors, no matter how strong the computer, it won't run right. You need to debug your thinking. Remove the old code, I must always be right. Install new code, I only need to execute well, the outcome is out of my control. That's what trading psychology really is. It's not about being emotionless. It's about believing in a set of principles that allow you to act despite your emotions. So here's your task moving forward. Identify the beliefs that are sabotaging you. Write them down. Replace them with empowering alternatives. Reinforce them every single day before, during, and after each trade. Over time, your beliefs will evolve, and so will your results. Because once your beliefs align with reality, with how the market really works, you'll no longer fight yourself. You'll stop needing to control outcomes. You'll stop fearing losses. You'll stop doubting your process. And you'll finally become the disciplined, focused, self-aware trader you were meant to be. The market won't change for you, but you can change for the market. And that change starts with your beliefs. Real-time awareness. The trader's secret weapon. You've studied the charts, practiced your strategy, and even wrote down your trading plan, your rules, and your risk management guidelines. So why, in the heat of the moment, does it all go out the window? Why do we make decisions we know we'll regret, even as we're making them? The answer lies in a skill most traders never develop, a skill even more important than backtesting or technical analysis. It's called real-time awareness. Mark Douglas explains that the true battleground of trading isn't in your strategy, it's in your moment-to-moment state of mind. It's not about what you feel before or after the trade. It's about what you do when emotions hit during the trade. Every time you open a trade, something happens inside you. There's hope, fear, tension, expectation. Your brain starts scanning for danger, interpreting every tick of the chart as a potential threat or opportunity. And in that state, you're vulnerable. Vulnerable to breaking your rules, to abandoning your stop loss, to adding to a loser, to cutting a winner too soon. But none of this has to happen if you can catch the emotion in real time. That's the power of awareness. It's the ability to observe your own mental state as it's happening, not 5 minutes later, not at the end of the day, but right there in the now. Because it's only in the present moment that you can make a choice. The moment you notice fear creeping in, that's when you can pause. The moment you notice yourself getting greedy, that's when you can act with clarity. Awareness gives you power over impulse. Without awareness, you're reacting blindly. With awareness, you can respond deliberately. Let's use an example. You're in a trade, and it starts to go against you. Your heart beats faster, your breathing gets shallow, your inner voice starts whispering, maybe I should just close it, just in case. In that moment, most traders act automatically. They exit out of fear. But the disciplined trader, the aware trader, catches it. They say, there it is, fear, I see it. And in that instant of awareness, they create space. Space to breathe, space to refocus, space to ask, is this decision part of my plan or part of my panic? That split-second pause is where transformation happens. That's how you rewire your trading behavior, not by suppressing emotion, but by observing it without reacting to it. Douglas writes, the objective is not to eliminate emotion, it's to prevent emotion from dominating your decisions. Real-time awareness is like a spotlight. It shines on the hidden forces that usually operate in the dark. The fear of missing out, the need to be right, the impulse to control what cannot be controlled. Once you see them, they start to lose their grip. You don't have to obey them anymore. So, how do you develop this skill? It starts with mindfulness. No, you don't need to sit on a mountaintop or chant mantras. You just need to practice paying attention without judgment. Before each trading session, try this. Sit in silence for 2 minutes. Close your eyes. Ask yourself, what's the emotional weather inside me right now? Am I calm? Am I tense? Am I trying to make something happen? Just notice. Don't try to change it. Just observe. During trading, do the same. Place a sticky note on your monitor. What am I feeling right now? That one question can interrupt 1,000 impulsive trades. After each trade, journal. Not just the outcome, but the emotion. Did I feel pressure to win? Was I afraid of being wrong? Did I act from clarity or from emotion? This is how you bring unconscious reactions into the light. And once they're visible, they're manageable. Because here's the truth, you'll never stop feeling emotion in trading. But with awareness, you'll stop letting emotion drive your behavior. That's the mark of a true professional. Not that they never feel fear or excitement, but that they see those emotions as they arise and stay rooted in their process. Imagine being in a trade, and instead of panicking, you breathe, you observe, you stay present, and you act with intention. That's what real-time awareness makes possible. It turns the chaos of the market into a mirror reflecting your inner world, and every trade becomes a chance not just to profit, but to practice mastery of self. Mark Douglas says, you must learn to think in probabilities and act from a state of neutrality, not fear, not hope, not ego. And you can only do that when you catch it as it happens. Not after, not someday, but now. This is the work. This is the discipline. And this is where real trading begins. Neutrality, the mental state of consistent traders. Let's talk about something most traders overlook, neutrality. Mark Douglas says the ideal mental state for trading is not confidence, not excitement, not even conviction. It's neutrality. Why? Because the market doesn't care about you. It's not out to get you, but it's not here to help you either. It just is. Every tick, every bar, every move is neutral. It's just information. But when you attach meaning to that information, When a red candle makes you feel fear or a green candle makes you feel greedy, you're no longer trading the market. You're trading your emotions. Neutrality means you approach every trade without emotional baggage. It means you don't need to win, you don't fear losing, and you don't expect the market to behave a certain way. You simply observe what is and act based on your edge. Think about it. What throws most traders off? It's not the chart. It's their mental story about the chart. I should have held longer. I knew it was going to go up. This always happens to me. These thoughts pull you out of the present moment and into a world of judgment, attachment, and illusion. But in neutrality, there is no should. There is only what is. A neutral trader doesn't celebrate a win with euphoria or beat themselves up over a loss. They log it, learn from it, and move on. Why? Because they understand that any single trade is meaningless. It's just one event in a long series. What matters is the process. Douglas emphasizes this point. You must think in terms of probabilities, not certainties, not predictions, probabilities. Let's say your system has a 60% win rate. That means over 100 trades, you expect to win 60 and lose 40. But you don't know when the wins or losses will come. You could have 5 losers in a row, then 10 winners, or the other way around. And if you're not neutral, those 5 losses will destroy you emotionally. You'll doubt your system, abandon your plan, and make revenge trades. But if you're neutral, you understand this is variance. This is normal. Professional traders don't need to be right all the time. They don't chase certainty. They chase consistency. And consistency comes from emotional neutrality, from showing up, executing your edge, and letting the market do what it will. So how do you cultivate neutrality? First, zoom out. Remember that no single trade matters. Second, detach from the outcome. Focus on execution, not results. Third, track your emotional state in your journal. If you feel overly attached, take a step back. And finally, embrace randomness. Accept that you will have losing trades, not because you're bad, but because that's how probabilities work. Neutrality isn't numbness. It's awareness without attachment. It's the calm in the center of the storm. And from that calm, you'll make your best decisions. Not because you're emotionless, but because you're grounded. You've probably seen traders who seem almost robotic in how they operate. That's not coldness. That's emotional mastery. They've trained themselves to act from principle, not impulse. Mark Douglas says the best traders have no expectation, only a plan. Think about that. No expectation, just a plan. They don't need the trade to work. They trust that over time, their edge will play out. When you reach that level of neutrality, the market loses its power over you. A losing trade won't rattle you. A winning trade won't inflate you. You'll stop swinging from hope to fear and start operating from clarity and confidence. So the next time you sit down to trade, ask yourself, can I stay neutral? Can I let go of needing to be right? Can I simply execute my edge and let the chips fall where they may? That is the mindset of a disciplined trader. That is the way. And that brings us to perhaps the most important lesson of all, the belief that makes or breaks you. Mark Douglas ends The Disciplined Trader with a simple but profound insight. Your beliefs create your reality in the market. Not the economy, not the indicators, not the news. Your beliefs. If you believe trading is risky, your actions will reflect that. Hesitation, fear, second guessing. If you believe the market is out to get you, you'll see every loss as confirmation of that belief. But if you believe that trading is simply a game of probabilities and your job is to execute your edge with discipline and detachment, then that belief becomes your superpower. Here's the truth. The market doesn't take your money. You give it away. You give it away when you overtrade. You give it away when you abandon your plan. You give it away when you let fear, hope, or anger take the wheel. So how do you change this? How do you become the disciplined trader Douglas writes about? You change your beliefs, one trade at a time. Start by letting go of the need to control the outcome. Stop trying to avoid losses. Accept them. Losses are not failure. They are information. Every loss teaches you something, if you're willing to listen. Then build a belief system grounded in reality. The market is neutral. Every moment is unique. Anything can happen. I don't need to know what will happen next to make money. I am a consistently profitable trader because I follow my plan, manage my risk, and trust my edge. Repeat these truths every day. Make them your internal dialogue, because when your beliefs align with the nature of the market, that's when everything changes. You stop fighting reality and start flowing with it. You stop chasing outcomes and start mastering your process. You stop being reactive and start being intentional. And in that space, you become the trader you were meant to be, not by finding the holy grail of indicators, not by watching more news, but by mastering the space between your ears, because that is where the real game is played. This is the message of the disciplined trader. And if you've made it this far, maybe you're ready to stop playing the old game and start becoming the kind of trader who doesn't just survive the market, but thrives it. Thank you for watching.